It was on top of my head. Anyway, yes. Turn right on. Thank you. And I need my fan. Things have got to change. The more things change, the more they remain the same. That is not a good quote at all, right? We gotta get that blender stopping. And so, the more things change, the more they remain the same. And that is just sad, right? Because things have got to change. If we are going to have any sort of improvement in ourselves, in our societies, in our countries, in the world, things have got to change. Welcome to reggae.com, and today you are tuned in on, or you're logged onto my show. It's called www.celebratelife.me. Welcome. This is the show where we learn to celebrate just about everything that happens to us. It doesn't matter whether it is good or bad. We can find something to celebrate in every situation of life. And today, we are going to be looking at rule number 3. But for those who are just joining us, we would like to acquaint you with the other rules. These are the 4 rules of celebrating life with me. 1, know where you're going. You must know your destination. In order to know your destination, you have to think about your dreams, your visions, your abilities, and your skills. But you need to understand the order. It's your visions and your dreams first before your abilities and your skills. Your abilities and your skills, which are inborn and part of your temperament, will take you there or help to get you there. But the real goal, which is temporary, must be your dreams and your visions. So you have to get in tune with yourself. What are your daydreams? What are your night dreams? What do you visualize yourself doing 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? That's what you are going to use as an indication of your dreams. And it must be impossible. Because if it's impossible, then it's an indication that you will need supernatural intervention in order to realize your dreams. Rule number 1, know your destination. Know where you're going. Rule number 2, we did yesterday. And so you can log on, go on to videos on reggae2reggae.com and see the show about rule number 2, which is you must know your driver. Now, I am just a co-pilot, but the driver is my creator. He's the one who made me. He's the one who made the dream and the vision and put it into my head. He is the one who is going to drive the bus. He is the one who is going to navigate us along the journey. And so you have to know the driver. You want details about that show? Log on, go to videos, scroll down, look for the date, celebrate life, and that will be yesterday's date. Moving right along to today's program, which is you must pay as you enter. Pay as you enter. Our old buses that we had in Jamaica, when JOS was around, that's Jamaica Omnibus Service, used to say at the door, pay as you enter. In some societies, you pay after you enter. When you're disembarking, that can't work in life. That will not work in a life if you want to get to where you need to go. You have to pay as you enter. And that's what we're going to talk about today. paying as you enter. So, before we go into that, I need to tell you rule number 4 so you see how it fits into the sequence. Because rule number 4 is celebrate life. You must have fun while you're going on this journey. Because what's the whole point of coming to a place where you're going to have fabulous results when, in fact, you are going to have to sludge through and have a horrible time along the journey just to get to a wonderful goal? That makes no sense. And more than that, it is not the intent of the Creator to sludge through, because He gave us His image. He breathed into us His breath, and we became a living soul. That's what happened to me when I was born. And guess what comes along with that breath into me? All the potential characteristics of the Creator. So everything He is and can do, I am and can do eventually, only as I constantly patch in to that breath that is within me. So, if some kind person would bring me my fan, I would not be dripping wet. Thank you. Continuing on rule number 4. So remember, rule number 4 is celebrate life. Celebrate everything that you are going through and that you will be a part of. Wonderful. So we are back down to rule number 3. Rule number 1, know where you're going. Rule number 2, know the driver. Rule number 3, pay as you enter. Rule number 4, celebrate the journey. Got it? Right. Now we are doing rule number 3 today. And so we need to understand what this really means. Pay as you enter. Now I made some notes about different things, that we need to. And I have a quote from Genghis Khan that I want to share with you today. Boy, I tell you, it's just amazing that we need to pay attention to. And I need to bring it up here, but it says low battery. Guess what? I want to find it some other way and do it some other time. But we're talking about pay as you enter. Pay as you enter means that you have got to put in your contribution at the beginning. You can't come into a bus, as I said before on a previous show, and not pay the fare when you're coming in. Some people want to come in, and when it's time to come out, they decide not paying the fare. And what is going to happen here? How is the bus going to be maintained? How is the driver going to be paid? How is the co-pilot going to be paid if you don't pay as you enter? The other thing is this, that when you pay up front, do you know what happens? Down the end, your returns are much bigger than if you decided to bite at the end. When you pay at the beginning, it's about the principle of sowing and reaping. It's about the principle of enjoying the abundance as you go along. And then at the end, you will be able to reap these magnificent benefits. We spoke about the fact that we are a masterpiece, and everything that we do is a part of a puzzle of putting together this masterpiece. And if you do not make your contribution, how are you going to get some of the rewards at the end? One of the analogies that I like to use is the one of sowing corn. Everybody knows what corn. But a lot of people only know corn in a tin. And that is not corn. That is corn cousin, right? Because the only way you know if something is a good thing is if it has life, if it has life force. And if you plant a whole tin of corn in the ground, it will not grow. You could have fertilized it till it's dead, That is exactly what will happen because there is no life force. The only corn that is going to grow and the only food that is healthy and good for you is the food that if you put it back in the ground, in the state you're going to eat it in, it is going to grow. That means it has life force. If it will not grow, it has no life force. Therefore, if you cook something until it is dead, then it cannot grow. So remember, the issue is one of will it grow? Does it have life force? The other analogy relating to the corn is this. If you plant one seed of corn and you leave it to germinate and you water it and you care for it and you see that no goat don't come and eat it down and you protect it, then when it starts to sprout and come up, it will give you a beautiful stalk. But the next thing that happens is some little shoots start to coming out of the stalk, and then you see some little baby corns. And then the baby corns get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that one stalk of corn can give you several ears. No, not this kind of ears. Is that I wonder if no, I don't have a corn stalk. But anyway, I'm going to bring it on the next show. A corn, like corn on the cob. Eh? When it is on the cob, the whole corn, have you ever stopped and counted how many single grains of corn are on one stalk, on one cob? Well, I did. And the particular one that I counted was about 490 individual grains of corn on the one cob. How many grains of corn did you plant? One. So lamented. And on one cob, you have 400 and odd. But guess what? This stalk does not only bear one cob. There are several at a time. So out of that one stalk and out of that one grain, the potential is to get thousands of grains. Now, if I decide that I am going to plant one grain, that's what I'm going to reap. But what if I planted 10 grains? Do you see how much I'm going to reap? Well, I have an article on my website. It's called How You Can Feed a Family of Four, not just feed, how you can provide for and support a family of four with $10,000 Jamaican. No, it says $1,000 US actually at the time. But that would now be 100,000 Jamaican. But can you think, if you add up all your pay, you get to 100,000 quick, quick, quick. Some people in less than a week, some people after X weeks. But if you are able to invest that amount of money or equivalent in product, you are able in a couple of years to support a family of four. The article is on my website. Go to www.celebratelife.me and go into articles and you'll see it there. But it's the same principle of not just planting a grain of corn initially, but out of your first reaping, you plant back everything. So if out of your first reaping you get 1,050 grains of corn, you will get more than that. And you plant back every one of those 1,050 corns. You don't eat any of them. Do you recognize? Do the math. You are going to get now over 1,000 grains from more than 1,000 grains of planted grains of corn. Do the math. I can't even work it out. it comes to billions. So that's the principle that we are going to talk about when we talk about sowing your seed and sowing your first fruits. Enough said, that is going to be the subject of another program. Back to pay as you enter. This is one of the principles of paying as you enter. Another important principle is that you need to understand that we have to invest, we have to patch into, we have to become a part of anything that we want to gain out of down the road. There is no free ride in life. As I said, nothing free. Nothing in life is free. I've heard people say, only salvation is free. Well, guess what? If you call dying and giving your life free, well, that's the ultimate price that anybody could pay. So that is not free. It's just that somebody else paid for it for you. So if it's paid for you, then you need to make your contribution. And the only contribution you're asked to make is the number one law. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, thy soul, thy mind, thy strength. And once you do that, everything is going to fall into place. So, let's get back to another aspect of pay as you enter. One of the things is that when you forego future, present gratification for future gain, that is a part of paying as you enter. Foregoing, meaning that you do not get it at the same time. Present gratification, that means we feel good. That comes from doing something right away for future gain. It's the same principle with pregnancy, right? Because if you decide that you're going to enjoy the wonderful roll in the hay and don't know that down the road there may be a child born, then you need to understand that this present gratification has future gains coming up. So every present gratification has future gain, right? So if you want to forego the results of having this present gratification, then you need to use protection. And the best protection is abstinence. You know how much condom break? You know how much tie-off tube people end up getting pregnant? No, say. Learn to look at the options way down the road when you are doing any action in the present time. Talking about present time and action. One of the things that I have been talking about every day on this program is the abundance that is available to us. And one of the things that I want us to look on is a little more of this issue of abundance. This morning I was talking to my brother, hi Donovan, over there in Wentzville, Missouri. Big up, big up, big up all the Jamaicans in that area. He is involved in a lot of work in the inner city and pioneering of Black America. He was sharing something with me and I said, Don, can I use this on my program today? And he said, go ahead, share it. And so I am going to share that with you. He was talking about the acquisition of the abundance that we have available around us all the time. How do you acquire it? Well, one of the bases is that I always look for everything in my operations manual. So I look around and I find this verse that they call John 10:10. All right. And it says, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I have come to give you life and life abundantly. And I said to myself, you know, that verse is the reason why at age 7, I decided that I am going to give everything I have to my Creator. Why? Because I used to like plenty things, plenty pretty dress, plenty tie, plenty this, plenty that, and I'm still an acquisitive person. I have collections of art pieces, Oil, and I collect everything. Oil, sculpture, ceramics, clothes, shoes, glasses, you name it. I'm a collector. And that was why I decided that everything that is available to me, I want it. And this is one of the keys to getting it. Because if you are on the other side, how, if you're outside the gate, how are you going to get what is inside the gate? Eh? So you have to open the gate and come in on this side. If you stay over there where the thief want to kill, steal, and destroy, that is your choice. I want to be inside here where all the abundance is. As we talk about that, I need to take a drink. Right? I'm just rushing in off the road, and I didn't have time to resuscitate myself. I will tell you about this drink too. For those who have a good color television, and I will tell you about a friend who called me and told me, I just love your outfit that you had on Sunday, right? That purple goes well with your hair. I had on a brown dress, right? So I don't know whether it was a television or he's colorblind, but I hope that your television right now can get to the right color. This thing I'm drinking is green. Thank you, Natalie. That's my wonderful housekeeper who keeps my house and keeps me and keeps. One day we meet Natalie and let her tell you how she did this thing. Because it's hard to keep me, Okay. Give plenty trouble. She left things all over the place and she has to be constantly running behind me. But she does a good job. So that green thing I was having, it's a chlorophyll drink. And the best chlorophyll drink in this country is callaloo juice. You know what callaloo juice does? It substitutes for a blood transfusion. I use callaloo juice when I am dealing with my sickle cell patients, my leukemia patients, lupus patients, all those persons who have anything to do with chemical imbalances in the blood, which incidentally is a part of most conditions. I use callaloo juice. How many green or chlorophyll servings do you need a day to keep your blood strong? 5. 5. You know, when someone says, oh, I have my green juice. I said, how often you have it? 2 times a week. I said, that will never do, please. And then I have other people who I say, oh, I have my green juice. I said, how often do you have it? Once a day. And they think they're doing a wonderful thing. You need 5 green servings a day to keep the chlorophyll levels high in your blood. Why do you need chlorophyll levels high in your blood? Because at the molecular level, that's the smallest level that you can analyze anything at. It's like an atom. At the molecular level, that's the molecule, chlorophyll has the same molecular structure as hemoglobin in your blood. Can you think about that? So if you need to rebuild your hemoglobin, gobble, 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 5 servings of green will put it right back up. That's what I use to totally reverse blood conditions. But guess what? Blood is not just made up of hemoglobin alone. So you have to watch the program to find out the other things that you have to put in there. But remember, 5 green servings. And since I'm telling you this, let me tell you what. It's not just callaloo juice. Don't mean you have to have 5 callaloo juices a day. No. You can have an avocado salad, which is what I'm serving my guests today for lunch. Or you can have a Caesar salad, which has all these greens in there. You can have a callaloo salad. When I tell you how to make callaloo salad raw, you lick your fingers and boy, it tastes good. You can have a calorie juice. You can have a green juice. You can have cantaloupe. No, cantaloupe is the orange one. Honeydew melon. Or you can have kiwi. Anything that is green. You need 5 servings a day. Or you could have some pepper pot soup. So I have a long list of green teas that you can have. So it's not going to be boring. Lots of variety, but getting your 5 greens a day. Let me see if I can drain off a little more to the bottom of this glass, because this is good stuff. You know, that those perk ups inside a drink the green thing, right? All right. Now, we were talking about abundance, and that's why I had to tell you about the green stuff, because that is the only way you're going to enjoy this abundant life. Can you imagine? You have all of this stuff to do, all of these opportunities, and you can't take advantage of them because your body run down. No, you've got to keep your health at its peak so that you can take advantage of all of these. So let's go back to my versatile in my operations manual. John 10:10. It says, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Doing that from the Garden of Eden. He'll come out, just deceive Miss Eve. But guess who was responsible? Adam's fault. Right? It's not Eve's fault, because he is the head. I'm going to tell you another program about that. Him is the head. But remember, ladies, you are the neck that turn the head. So make sure you turn the head in the right direction. So, the man is the head. The lady is the helpmeet. She's the one, however, who is the neck. The head can't move unless the neck turn it. You got the picture? More said on that. So, we're talking about abundance. What does abundant life encapsulate? It's abundant health, which we have been given, free of cost. Abundant wealth. We spoke about that yesterday, about coming into your purpose and knowing that your purpose must lead you to prosperity and success, because that's God's plan for you. Then there must be abundant peace. And we spoke about shalom. Remember, Saturday we had Shalom Shabbat. And that was when we explained everything about the reason for rest and peace and how we can get into it and how we can have everything in perfect upright order and how you need to fix what is broken and bring back what is missing. Haha! That's abundant peace. And then we have abundant love. What is that about? Being able to have loving relationships with everybody, which incidentally, P.S. is impossible by yourself. That's why we need to have that spirit that is in us, energizing us, so that those people out there who you can't stand because they are, this is a public network, I cannot say what I really think, but because I can't love them by myself, because I'm reacting to how they treat me, then I just sit back and just chill and cool. And that spirit within me, that spirit that was breathed into me, the image of my Creator that lives within me, is the one that I say, listen to me. You have to take over here, because I can't deal with X, because then just drive me up with tree. But guess what? I just backing off and cool. You deal with them. That's how it's done. Duh. Abundant love. Then we have abundant joy. And that's what Celebrate Life is about. www.celebratelife.me. That's how I celebrate my life. Because I just embrace the joy, the celebration, the exhilaration in every situation. Because guess what? Every situation has some of that as well as it has some of the other stuff. But I am not getting involved in the other stuff. I choose my reality. I create my reality. And you can create yours too. It's a choice and it is a decision. I hope my producer remember to show me the 30-minute left and the 15-minute left. Because one program, we forget everything. And when it comes to 5 minutes, is when it comes to tell me 5 minutes left. All right. Moving right along. We're talking about abundant life. Remember that we need to embrace it and make the choice to come over through the gates into the area where you can get everything you need. Abundant health, abundant wealth, abundant peace, abundant love, and abundant joy. When you have this, you can deal with anybody. I was just talking to my sister this morning, and I said to her, boy, I seem to attract all the peculiar people around me. Persons who have major challenges. That is what I'm here for. Thank you, Mr. Producer. I just got my 30 minutes signal. Right. And I attract these people around me. And I love it. Do you know? I really like it because it gives me an opportunity to use all of these wonderful, wise things that I'm telling you. Because what's the whole point of knowing it up here and not having an opportunity to use it? And that's the problem with learning, you know. We go to school and we learn X, Y, and Z, but we never put it into practice. And guess what? Unless you put it into practice, you really do not know it. And so, those of you who are caregivers, counselors, those who advise other people, when you're learning something, do it for yourself first. That is the only way you can help somebody else, really. Because if you speak words out of your mouth and they don't see it in your lifestyle, it will never stick. This is why so many parents always quarreling about, I tell the child, you know, don't lie. And then when somebody come on the phone to speak to the husband said not here, and she said, he's not here. What does the child learn? Not what they hear, what they see and experience. I had a problem one time. I had a boss, and I used to work as executive secretary to this boss. So I knew all his business and everything that was happening. And he was in the middle of going towards a divorce with his wife. And of course, the phone rings. And I answer the phone, and I say to the wife, 1 second, please. I don't usually say if he's here or not, right? But I just say, 1 second, please. And I said, your wife is on the line. And he said to me, tell her I'm not here. I said, I am very sorry, sir. I am not telling her you are not here. I pay you and you do what I tell you to do. I said, sir, you do not pay me to lie. I will not tell her that you're not here. Well, I don't know, and if you don't tell, you're going to be fired. I said, well, that's fine. I will start packing my bags now. However, I will answer her. So I go back on the phone and I said, Mrs. X, I'm very sorry, but Mr. X is unable to speak with you right now. Would you like to leave a message? You know what she said to me? She says, it's okay, honey. I'm just downstairs. And she come up the stairs into the office. Can you imagine how I would have felt if I had said he's not here? Then she would have think that me and him have something going. You understand? It never suits you to tell a lie for anybody, right? Not even for yourself. Because eventually, behold, your sins will find you out. Let's say I said I could not remember. You know how long that thing happened? About 40 odd years ago. 40, 22. Anyway. But, I mean, I learned that lesson. because I had no idea she was downstairs, just coming up the stairs, and she didn't want to bother come upstairs to ask him something. I say, all right, thank you very much. That is how you learn. And you need to learn from your mistakes, because if I had done it wrong, I can tell you that would be the last time I would have done it wrong. So we're talking about abundant life. So once you understand what it encapsulates, what it comes together with, what it holds, then you need to understand how you get there. It's just a decision. I don't want to be on that the road that gives me plenty maca. Remember we talk about the maca road where you get juked and you get hit down. I don't want to be on that road anymore. I want to stay on the abundant side. Now, you know something? This morning my brother was sharing with me about the future and the past and how it fits in with abundant life. And one of the things he was reminding me was that abundance only happens in the present. It can happen in the future or in the past. And I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but this is what I learned from it, how I interpreted it. One of the things is that you are promised today. You're not promised tomorrow or yesterday. You're promised today. And so you need to embrace today. If it is that something happens today, you need to take what the most that you can out of it. Experience the most, learn the most, do the most. When you look to the past, you see all the things that went wrong. All the things the enemy has stolen, has destroyed, has killed, all the relationships that have gone wrong. This is why when people are in a present situation and here's an opportunity facing them, they look to the past. No, my dear, you're not getting involved in any more relationship. I am not getting involved in any more business because in the past, X, Y, Z went wrong. That is what is controlled by the enemy. We need to live in the present, ride the waves, whatever comes, enjoy the ride. Because when you go up on the top of the wave, down in the bottom of the wave, you may drop off, but if you drop off, splash and enjoy yourself. The issue is this: you must enjoy today. It's the only thing you have. You're looking behind you, you're going to see all the mistakes, and that is going to depress you. You look ahead and you see all the impossibilities, because when you look ahead at the things that are facing you, at the problems, let's say, of our country or our family or our personal circumstances, the only thing you can do is depress you. Because how am I going to manage tomorrow? I just barely make ends meet today. How am I going to manage tomorrow? We only have today, and you only need to use today. You know, this concept of saving for a rainy day is good, but there's just only a percentage of what you must save for a rainy day, you know. You must spend most of it today. All right? You don't understand that concept, but when we do in the financial area, we will talk about the fact that you need to tithe 10%. Then you splurge 10%. Then you give 10%. Then you save 10%. That's 40%. You live on the 60%. And if you can live on less, then you live on less. And put one of those 10% up more. Do you know that I followed this program until I was living on 10% of my income? And 90% was going in the other categories, mostly in investment. We're going to share that in one program coming up. But if you start with that 40% up top, 10% you tithe, 10% you splurge on yourself, 10% you give away to others, and 10% you save. That's the best way to go. It is consistent with the first law. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then your neighbor as yourself. No, although it says your neighbor as yourself, it presupposes that you have loved yourself, then you can love your neighbor as yourself. So it's 10% first to God, 10% next to yourself, and then 10% to give away to your neighbor. Then you must always see 10% to see it. Then you live on the 60%. And if it is you are able to live on less, then you put that part into whichever of those suits you or pleases you. Back to abundance now. That's one of the ways to get abundance. I'm here to tell you. Because those are laws. And when you sow into those areas, when you spend on yourself, you're investing in yourself. When you tithe, you're investing in your creators. And when you give to others, you're investing in others. And then you have to put back your 10% for the rainy day. But I want to come back to this concept of the abundant life and the fact that it is always in the present. Because you can't go back and change any. Let's just take one area, and I'm going to work with health. You cannot change any health problem that you had in the past. You can only deal with what is here today. You cannot project that next week and next month you will be healthy. You can only deal with your health for today. And this is why when people say, tomorrow I'm going to go on a diet, I say, forget you, because you'll never get on that diet. Tomorrow I'm going to change my way of eating. It is not going to happen. You have to learn to live in the moment. Live for today and do everything for today. I was talking about the concept of saving. That's why I went on to that 10, 10, 10, 10. But part of the issue of saving is this. It must not take away from what you need to experience today. Because living in the moment has the largest returns attached to it. Living in the past is a problem. Living in the future will depress you. Living in the present is the only time you're sure of, and the only time you can really enjoy, because you're not sure if you're going to be able to enjoy tomorrow. You know how many people have come to me this week? They have come to a culinary academy class, and all is well. I said, why are you here at the class? Oh, I just want to improve my eating. 2 weeks time to come back. I was just diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I said, what? Well, 2 weeks ago, my doctor gave me a clean bill of health. Cancer cannot come up in 2 weeks. Please, it takes 10 years or 12 years or 20 years to come up. So you need to know that you have no guarantee that you will be able, your health will be there tomorrow. So today is the day that you're going to reverse those unhealthy circumstances around you and the practices that you have gotten into. Enough said. So you understand what I mean about living in abundance today? It also has to do with how you spend your money on yourself. You know, you go there, you're just crimping and scrimping because you're saving for the future. Excuse me, while you're saving for the future, you can enjoy and celebrate the present. So please bear that in mind. Living in the present. Another thing that I want to look at is life abundance that cannot happen in the past. Life abundant that cannot happen in the future. It has to happen in the present, because this is when you have all your circumstances, all your inputs, all your resources available to you. Today, you have X resources available to you. Use them. You may not have them available to you tomorrow, because your circumstances might change. Your physical location might change. Your health might change. Your wealth might change. You know, somebody may die in your family. Somebody might be born into your family. And you know, both things change your circumstances drastically, because now there's another mouth to feed. And when somebody's dead, you have to go and pay for burial expenses. All sorts of things can happen. Live in the present. So I want you to remember that as you think about the fact that some people say, I have to pay before I do it. You got to pay as you enter. Because if you don't pay as you enter, you will not get the rewards that you need at the end. Another thing about that is the earlier you put in the investment, the larger the interest. Those of us who are involved in stocks and bonds and shares and them long-term investment, we know that you put on something. I remember putting down something. My father started investments when I was a baby, right? And he used to buy those insurance that we pay your school, your university fees when the person was born. So that all of us had those done on our lives as children. We are, less than a year old, and an investment was made. And 18 years later, we have our university education. But for 18 years, he put down a small amount. So that is what it means by pay as you enter. When we entered the world, he started paying for our university education. And when that came, it was a breeze. He just signed over the policy to us. Needless to say, I never used my money and do that. I take it out when shopping. Anyway, I know you're not going to do that, but it's a principle that I had already decided what I was doing for my further education. And so I had that money to do what I wanted to do. But anyway, take it. There's an advantage in paying as you enter. As we enter the world, all of us as children got that policy taken out on us. You understand what I'm saying? Those things that are for long term, especially. I hope you plan to live here for a long time, right? I am planning to go to 120 years, right? Unless there is an event that takes me out into better circumstances. Huh? So remember, we are here for the long ride. However long it takes, we must go out with a bang, right? Like my husband did. I don't know how many of you know that my husband passed in December of last year. Earl Constantine Chung. And I had the privilege of sharing our lives together for 18 wonderful years. And he had his wish. He never wanted to go out sick. And so when the opportunity came, he merely closed his eyes and went. Healthy as anything. Minor problems here and there. But he saw in the future, or he thought he saw in the future, that he would soon get to the place where he needed to be assisted, and he did not want that. And so I celebrate the time I spent with him because it was a wonderful part of my journey. And so this is how we need to deal with every loss. Let it be a part of your journey that you celebrate. Every time I start to cry and think about him, I remember those wonderful times that we had together, those witty sayings that he always told me, the times when he annoyed me. I have to tell you this time, we had just gotten married. And 3 months after the marriage, we were in bed one night, and of course, I dropped it to sleep immediately. I am a day person, and he's a night person. Always happens that way in marriages. And he's up on the computer, doing research in this and that. And I'm snoring away. And I don't know, it must have been 2 o'clock in the morning. I hear somebody shaking me. No, I sleep straight through the night. I don't get up. I fall asleep as soon as my head touches the pillow, and then that's it until the morning when I get up. I hear the shaking. I said, and he says to me, honey, listen to this. So I open one eye and I look at it and I say, what? And he says, this Hebrew word here, do you know what it means? It means that everything is all right. I closed that eye and open the other eye. I said, huh? Tell me when I wake up. And I go back to bed. I said, before I went back, I said, I cannot believe it. This man wake me up in the middle of the night to tell me about Hebrew word. And I went back to bed. Of course, when I woke up the next morning, I thought it was so funny because he was so excited about this thing that he had discovered. He went up in the middle of the night to tell me. I remember those things. And I laughed. I will tell you some other things that I remember at another time. But remember, you can celebrate every circumstance and everything that happens to you, every moment of every day. But you've got to stick to the principles. Because if you do not stick to the principles, then you will be operating outside of the results that you intend to get and that you would like to get. So, pay as you enter. Make sure that you put in the investment that you need if you want to get the rewards. Make sure that you make your contribution to whatever is going on. And it doesn't matter whether it is something that you are not going to benefit from. Everything you do accrues to you. And I'm going to tell you another story. When I had my first job, I was recruited to work with this firm. It was a distributorship of pharmaceuticals. In fact, it was the two biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, Merck, Sharp and Dohme, and Charles E. Frost. Now, we still know about Merck because Merck bought out Charles E. Frost, and now it's one of the biggest research companies in the world. And I worked at the time as the executive secretary to the Caribbean sales manager. Hi, Eddie. My job entailed doing everything for the office and all the medical representatives who were there. Wonderful. So I learned a lot about prescription drugs and detailing of the doctors and so on. I was there for 3 months when my dear boss brought in work from another company he had across the road and said, Jerry, just get this for me. And then I started taking minutes at the meeting and the board meeting and the blah, blah, blah. Wonderful. Then the next thing I know, I see some chicks, from a restaurant on the thing. He had a restaurant. And I was now balancing off the chicks from the restaurant. One day he came in, can you write this letter for me? He had an import-export company for motor vehicles. And I was now writing letters for the motor vehicle company. Then he had another company that was an investment company. And they were, can you just do up this title for this property and sales agreement and blah, blah, blah. I said, so after about 3 months, I realized I am working for 5 companies. I was not pleased at all. So I went home and complained to my mother. And my mother sat me down and she says, get 5 pieces of paper, write what you're doing for each one of these companies on each piece of paper. And then I want you to bring them to me. So I sat down and I write down every single solitary little teeny thing that I was doing. Make coffee for reps. Go downstairs and buy milk. Ta-da. Every little thing that I did, voluntary or otherwise. And I brought my 5 sheets of paper to my mother. She says, sit down, Cheryl. Do you know that you have had the benefit of 3 months training in 5 different industries? I said, so what? That's just a lot of work for me. She said to me, let me tell you something. Everything you do accrues to you. You benefit from everything you do, whether it's voluntary or paid. From that day on, everywhere I work, you want me to help you? You want me to help you? Me help you. Why? Because I know I was learning. Wonderful. So what she told me to do is go in and speak with your boss tomorrow morning, present your 5 sheets of paper, thank him very, very, very much for the opportunity to have worked with him and to have learned all of this, and then ask him for a raise. Hey, hey, next morning I dress up. I usually just go to work, in my little clothes. I dress up in a little suit. I'm 17, 18, yeah, just graduated from business college. And I walk into, good morning, Mr. X. I would like to have a word with you, please, sir. I am 18, and this man is probably 30. So this is a big old man to me. And I said, and he says, yes, and he smiled because he noticed my dress was different and everything. So I said, well, sir, I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to have worked with your 5 large organizations and all the valuable experience that I've gained over these 3 months. It's as if I have been employed for each one, I have been employed with each one for 3 months. And so, in fact, I have gained 15 months experience over these last 3 months. Now he starts to smile because he's wondering, where is she going? And then he starts to look funny because he thinks that I'm now coming to say, I'm leaving. So he starts to narrow his eyes now. And then I said, well, over this time, I just really want to thank you. And I was wondering if I could get a raise. He laughed. He nearly fall off of the chair. Right. And he says, okay, Sharon, you got one on me. I said to him, what's wrong, sir? And he says, I'll tell him to put you on the fly-by pay tomorrow. Another full salary I get. One whole salary. I was getting one whole salary already. And my salary from my first job was being lodged overseas in US dollars. So I never touched that salary. I was now being paid by another organization, full salary. I was earning 2 salaries. That is why after I left that place, I always held 3 jobs because I'd gotten accustomed to getting 2 salaries. And I said, no, I leave this place, I have to get 3 salaries. Enough said. Why am I telling you this? Everything you do accrues to you. Do you know what I paid as pay as you enter? Do you know what I had as a deposit at that time? Eventually, when I got to about 45, I had owned an investment company. I had owned a health company. I had owned a car distributorship, used to import and distribute motor cars. I had owned a chain of restaurants. My boss had one. And what was the last one? Investment, pharmaceuticals, health field, whatever. I owned and a furniture factory. Now look what I invested. Look what I invested. Look at the little bit I invested. Because I worked with that organization for 3 years and then left to go somewhere else. But what I learned in that organization was the base of 5 companies that I ran successfully for years and made me loads. When I say loads, millions of dollars. Pay as you enter, because there is no downside to paying when you enter. No downside, no disadvantage. It always comes back to you. So I hope you sit down and listen to the show again, because the principles that we have shared are so important as a foundation for whatever is going to happen. And it doesn't matter what time you start that foundation, because in my life I have changed my career so many times. The present thing that I am doing now, I started at age 45 or 43. After I'd done all of that, I sat down and I said, you know what I want to do? I want to lead people into their purpose. So guess what? I did 3 more degrees. And I sat down for 5 years, did a first degree, a second degree, a third degree, and a PhD. Full time for 5 years. Why could I do it like that? Because I had so many things under my belt before. And I had invested so much time. So let me tell you something. I am a living testimony that pay as you enter pays off big bucks. Would you like to get to the place where you have so much money that you can live on 10% of your income and fly around the world on 10% of your income? I did it. Don't come beating down the door, because guess what? Me give away all of it. Every cent I have given away. So I am back down to living gloriously from hand to mouth. So whether you want to live gloriously from hand to mouth, or you want to live on 10% of your income, you gotta keep listening to www.celebrate.life.me on reggae2reggae.com. Remember, you just get on the internet and you put in www.reggae2reggae.com. That is REGGAETOREGGAE.com. And when you get in there, there will be live stream. And you just click on that and you will see what's coming over right now. So if you want to go in there right now, you're cool. Or if you want to see all the programs that we have done from the last 2-3 weeks, they are all in our archives. Go back to that little box on the left, right there on that same website, and you see videos, chat, and stream. You click on videos, and up will come these little boxes, and you will see my face on some of the boxes. You will see our wonderful DJs and other persons on the program, on other programs in those little boxes. It will have a date on the box, and then you just click on that date, and voila! A 1-hour show, a 4-hour show, whatever was recorded will be there. And it is online 5 minutes after it happens. So go there in 5 minutes time, and you can see that too. Marshall coming up next. Whoa! It's Marshall coming up next. That's Marshall. Is Marshall Reds?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Marshall Reds, man. He was a bad, wassy DJ. Marshall Reds. The best in music. Him spin the discs, man. And oh my goodness, I love to listen to Marshall Reds. So Marshall Reds coming up next. And this is a live. So log on to Reggae2Reggae, where you get the best in reggae music, you get the best in everything about Jamaica. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, at www.celebrate live gets on air and on live. Hear my wonderful theme song coming up. It has got to be rearranged. Some things have to change. So get into it. Get into it. Get into it. Come with me on the journey. Pay as you enter. No free ride.
Injustice.
Am I off?
Yes.
You said I'm off? Ask me if I'm off.
Yes, girl. Yeah, man, you're awesome.